This is the Jubilee Sports Extra. We're just trusting that you're having a fantastic time. It's been a few weeks since the last time we were here to present this awesome, interesting program. But thank God we are here again and you are alive and well. And that's why you're watching us. All right. So I advise you to stay tuned, glued to your listening or watching device, whether it be your laptop or your phone or whatever it is you're using to watch and to see us today. It's going to be an interesting, very, very interesting session today. And of course, I've got with me the highly delectable gentleman in the house. But let me start for myself. My name is Emeka. I'm going to be your host for today. And with respect to the club I support, don't forget, I still support Liverpool FC. The guys that are topping the table at the minute. So that's by the corner. But let's hear from the other gentleman in the studio today. Juniho, can you introduce yourself?
Yeah, my name is Oluwaseun Junior, aka the first and the only Chelsea official Chelsea fan in the house. I'm always proud to be a Chelsea fan, whatever. Regardless of our condition or our situation at this point, I'm still a Chelsea fan. And for life, I'll be a Chelsea fan.
Okay, okay, okay. So for today's broadcast, let's go. Let's call you by. Can we call you by the name Juniho?
Yeah.
Because that's what people will see on the screen. Yeah.
Or
Okay.
we can call him, or we can call him Mister Anything Can Happen. That's what he said beginning of the season.
Yeah. You still don't forget that anything, you still don't believe that anything can happen.
Well,
God can exist.
anything is happening. You can see that in the Chelsea teams. Um. Okay. Yeah. Gozi, over to you. Introduce yourself.
Hello guys, my name is Gozie, the only original Arsenal fan on here, and yeah, I can't wait for the show.
Okay. Okay. Fantastic. All right. Don't be surprised, our viewers, if at any point one or two of us jumps in. I notice that someone is running behind schedule, who is meant to be here with us today. But we have to kick off because it is time for the show to begin. So we have a few about very, very interesting topics to discuss today. Wherever you are watching us, at any point you feel like making a comment, feel free to put a comment on any of our social media platforms, and one of us will come around to read those comments out to the hearing of this live broadcast. Okay, so whether it's on Facebook or YouTube, feel free to put your comments in there and we'll come around to help amplify your comments and read it out so that every other person can hear what you have got to say on any of the topics we're going to be discussing today. All right, so let's jump right into it. First of all, I believe it was it last two Saturdays or last Saturday? There was a very interesting football match that held between the JCC men and the youth of the church called the RIC. It held at the Alan Higgs Leisure Center. It was a very heated competition. It was meant to be just a friendly match. Let's just come and, touch the ball and touch the ball, but it turned out to become something at the frequency or at the level of a Champions League match, and our pastor was there to officiate the match. It was such a very lovely atmosphere to behold. So we want to quickly give our thoughts on the match. Let's start from home. Charity begins at home. Before we start talking about what's happening in other parts of the world, let's begin from what happened in our own home. Let's give our thoughts on the match. I know Gozier was not there, but he must have heard some of the news that flew around. The match ended 2-2 in the favor of no one. But that was just the first leg, and there's going to be a return leg in the summer. But let's just hear our thoughts on the first legs. Let's start from Juniho. Juniho, what do you have to say about the match?
Yeah, it was a very fantastic football. To be candid with us, I wasn't expecting what happened because literally I was thinking it's going to be like a win down from the youth team because I played for the men's team because I was a participant of the competition. I played, and it was a very fantastic football. Like I wasn't expecting what the men played, because if you look at the match from the beginning, it was just like a one-sided possession football from the youth, because they had the possession almost, throughout the first half, playing the tiki-taka football like the way you're expecting them to play, and in the early hour of the second half, they had two goals down, which we were thinking, oh, that's going to be the end. But the men stood up and make it known to the youth that no, men will forever be a man. We show them how football is done. We show them what makes a man a man. And it was very candid. And if I will tell you, I wasn't expecting a lot of players from the men's side to perform the way they performed that day, because it was like I like someone like me. Like I said, it's almost 10 years I played on a real football like that. Almost 10 years, if I will not be mistaken. Almost 10 years I played a real football like that. And people like our host today, man, our host was very fantastic in the middle of the pitch. He hold them at the second half, and we came from 2-0 nil to equalize 2-1, 2-2. That's why the fact that the youth were thinking it was like the pastor in which the official was trying to favor the man, but still, it's even at the end of the match. I tried to have some engagement with the youth team, and their comment was very, very encouraging, because they thought there's going to be like a hands down game. They
Yeah.
thought it's going to be
6-0.
hands down game. Yeah, like something like 7-0, 6-0. But it was like you said earlier, it was like a tug of war. And it was just like not like the men are in when the second half, the spirit was so high, the motivation was there. That our women, our wives, they were there to support us. They were there to encourage us. Our
Yes,
children were
yes.
our children were beside supporting us, giving us the courage, and like when you look back and you see, oh, this is my wife. Let me don't disgrace myself. The motivation start coming. But to be very candid, I think that match is more like a Premiership standard, pattern of football. Because normal, I was thinking it's just going to be like a kick and follow, hit the ball, everybody, but everybody put the ball down to the ground, pass to each other, had a lot of possession. And to be very candid, I have to accolade people like Prince. I wasn't
Yeah.
expecting. I never seen him playing
Yeah,
before.
Prince is good. Prince is very good. Yeah.
I've never seen him before, and then Prince was fantastic that day. Then there's another man. I can't remember. I can't even remember all our players, but I remember them physically, but with the name. Everybody with shout out to our goalkeeper, brother Bidemi. He was so fantastic at the keeping side. Very motivating. Even when I had it, I was trying to like, oh, I'm going out. He holds me that man, you're not going anywhere. And it was a fantastic football. It was a fantastic. I enjoyed the match. I enjoyed the atmosphere. I enjoyed the friendship. The relationship within the RIC and the JCC men. I enjoyed the spectators. I enjoyed the officiating. I enjoyed every pattern of that match right from the beginning to the end. I don't even think as if I'm playing a normal football. I felt like, oh, it's just like a lovely football within families. And man, I can't wait to see the second leg, and I'm sure the second leg is going to just be because I know the RIC is they will try to buckle up, because they thought it's going to be for them, but now that they've seen what we have as a man, so that I felt like they have to buckle up. Though they played a very good football, they were playing. But one of the things I don't like about their own power is everybody in their team is trying to show off, trying to show I'm a star, I can play this, but we are not doing that as a man. We played ball for a very long time, so we knew that we are not here to joke. We are here for the business, and we show them. Shout out to all the JCC men that played that very day, and to be very kind, you guys hold a very good place in my heart. I cannot forget that match. I cannot forget that match. I enjoyed myself. You go say that you were not around. I will boldly tell you that you missed.
Honestly, for me, I know that I missed definitely. With my knee injury, like, if I had been able to play on either side, no, that other side wouldn't have stood a chance, honestly, if I'm being honest. If I was there, the game should have just been shut off because I've missed football, man. I've missed football. It's been since 2020 since I played a proper competitive game before I got my ACL injury. So, and that was at Coventry University football. So that was the last time. But I know like the game would have been very interesting. I've played against Prince before. I've played against a lot of the men that I've played in JC before. I've played against them, and I know that they are good. They are actually good. When they are good with the ball to feet, but except that they aren't hard to get past. But I'm guessing the youth team definitely they would have just been. It's just youthful exuberance. I'm guessing like they were just running around with the ball, tiki taka, playing around with the ball. But you need someone that's able to calm the team.
I'm sure that
You
they are
need
stars.
it. Yeah, you need it. You need someone to be able to calm the team down and settle the ball down, pass, have patterns of play, not just patterns of play for like joking wise, like actual patterns of play. Someone making runs in behind this and that. But nah, looking at it, I just know that I missed, and I don't even think I'll be fit enough to play the summer one. So yeah, I know I'm missing out for sure.
Okay.
And to add to the point, and seriously speaking, I want to say this like we can make this thing like a festive thing, like a tradition in the church. Because that day
Yeah,
I can't atmosphere there. We aren't playing football based on the fact that we want to enjoy football. We play football as a family that very day. Because I can see the
yeah,
fact that even people you've not spoken with in the church, people you haven't had the contact with in the church, people you haven't,
yeah,
had the bond with. I can remember one of the players that we played together from the men's side. We became because of that we became very close friends now. He check on me almost every time.
yeah,
I check on him every time. On Friday when I just send a message to the group that I feel like going back to the field, I want to play football. He just told me, he called me like, brother, I wish to play football too, like, but he doesn't have the time. Okay, let's go on this Friday. Let's just have a 1 hour football training.
yeah,
And to my surprise, I just told him like, oh, do you drive? Before I know it, he just booked Uber from his house, picked me up. We went to the pitch. Then we had what we had to have.
yeah,
Then we came back home, and since then we became. So that can is actually, that can actually, bring more
Yeah.
relationship and more cordialness between
yeah,
ourselves.
yeah,
It's an
yeah,
encouraging thing, and I want us to make it a tradition in the church. If the church
yeah,
organization from my own point of view, though.
No, no, no.
yeah.
I mean,
That's
as you can see from what happened, the last one we played, our pastor was there himself in person. That shows you that it's something that he's happy for it to continue. We've been doing it before, but we stopped it for a few years. But I think
yeah,
by the mercies of God, now it has come to stay. So every year there will be some sporting competition, which would normally be between the men and the youth. But there might be a twist after the return leg because the ladies are saying that they want to come into the equation now. If we can have like a mixed gender kind of competition.
yeah,
So something like the RIC team will have a mixture of the male and the female, and the men will have a mixture of the men and some of the younger women, if I will put it like that, in the team,
yeah,
just to create the fun part of it in the
yeah.
competition as well. So we're thinking about that, but
Don't
let's
Yeah.
let's
underrate our old women, please. Don't underrate our old women, our old mothers. Don't underrate. They can actually come to the pitch and actually, I think it's meant for fun, and let's just include them. Anyone who is capable or willing to do, let's just
mm,
include them. So when we are saying the man like the youth, the younger women, they might be discouraged. I feel like we can just look at our women in general. We can actually bring mommy JCC in our football team. My pastor Mrs. the pastor Mrs. Kola
yeah,
wanted
yeah,
to come
yeah,
and
why not?
all
Yeah,
these
yeah.
things will make it more fun. You want to dribble your pastor's wife? Who does that?
Okay.
But it's
Yeah,
fun. It's fun.
we'll think about it. We'll think about it. All right. Okay, fantastic. Let's move on from our own competition and
Yeah.
football match to other parts of the world now. Let's talk about Paul Pogba. Paul Pogba, it has been in the news because,
Yeah.
like most of us do know, but in case anyone is watching us who is not aware of what has been said about Paul Pogba, Paul Pogba has been banned from any footballing activity for 4 years now because he failed the anti-doping footballing ban or test. He failed it because he tested positive to testosterone. And for that, he had been banned for 4 years from every kind of footballing activity. The question I want to ask us, this evening on that subject is, what lessons can we learn from what happened to this young man? He's going to be coming back after 4 years. Should he even bother to come back? So I've heard some side of the argument who are saying that he shouldn't bother coming back. He should just go from there because after 4 years, from 2024 to 2028, I don't know how many years he will be by then. He might be going into his 30s and stuff like that. So he might not even be in the best of forms to return back in 2028. But what do we think about that? And what advice do we have for Paul Pogba in case he comes across this video at any point?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Okay. Sorry. I watched his interview of the recent, and I was so shocked with most of his comments when he was saying, yeah, it wasn't intentional. Like, what do you mean by it wasn't intentional? Like, I felt like as a football player, you should have be a good example and a better role model to people. So are you saying you are a drug person? Are you taking drugs? And now the Italian Football Federation is saying if it can be proven guilty that it wasn't intentional, that the ban will be reduced to 3 years. But regardless, Pogba is 30, he's going to be 31 this year. Adding 4 years to his age, he's going to be 35 when he comes back. And if you see someone of 35 years still be active on it, I think it's very rare. The only person I've seen in his late 30s, mid 30s is Buddy, doing pretty well.
Yeah.
I think that's the only players I've seen. I don't know, maybe there are some others I don't really know, except a goalkeeper. No, except a goalkeeper. I think the goalkeeper is just in the 33 or so, or something. So I'm talking about someone who will be coming back when he was 35 and not even an active player. The left of Tegotiba has been an active player throughout his whole career. But now you will not be active for 4 years. Coming back to the pitch is just to be like you coming to insult or disgrace yourself. I felt like even when I was watching his interview, he said, and I quote, that the test he had was, I think he said, I can't even remember the way he put his word because I don't want to use what he doesn't use because I know one of these days might go viral. But I think what he's trying to say there is he has lost everything he did. Like, he has lost everything he achieved through football.
Yeah.
Now you need part. You want to have the football. If you want to have your job 24 hours before, then you can do it. But not come to the pitch. You get a role model to a lot of people. People watch you. People see you as an idol. You get. So are you telling us that drugging or taking drugs during football or without the match of that football is encouraging or say because it wasn't intentional? In fact, the word using for him using the word that it wasn't intentional, I felt bad about it. Because and if you look at what happened in the Nations Cup during football, during AFCON, some of Nigerian players was carried for tests because of the agility during the football competitions, player running for 90 minutes up and down. Everybody feel like, no, yeah. And Pogba is not a kind of player that runs around. If you look at his pattern of football, he's not a player that walks around, but he's a player that when the ball is with him, he knows what to do with the ball at every particular time when he holds the ball, when he has the possession of the ball. He knows when to pass, he knows when to dribble, he knows when to when to shoot his shot, he knows what to do at every particular point in time. But he's not a player that runs around. You can't compare his life with someone like N'Golo Kante that keeps running up and down in the middle of the pitch. You can't compare him with someone like Odegaard that will just be running up, and even when the ball is not even with Odegaard, you see him running up and down on the pitch.
Yeah.
So someone like Pogba, I don't see reason why you have to even be taking drugs for this side. So I felt like, to me, I'm talking about my own point of view, and I don't want to be judgmental. I felt like it's a bit not too good for him taking a drug, and the ban to me, not for him alone. I think the ban should even be increased because that will serve as a lesson for people that have been doing that. Because you know that this is my career. So if you try to do that, your career is going to be healthy.
Yeah,
So, like, that's just now.
Junio, what's your advice at this point for him then? What are you advising him to do if you were to do
My
his?
advice is to go and use his little money to invest in his country. Let him invest and forget about the life of football or even, do something else. Because coming back at the age of 35, Juventus, though I know that Juventus do retain older players. So if you look at Juventus kind of pattern, they have more in their past record, they have more older players in their team than young players. If you look at their pattern right from that, not the present Juventus team. Even this present Juventus team, the like of the world, I don't see reason why they still have him in that kind of team. You get, but
Yeah,
Juventus, probably I don't know, maybe. But to me, my own advice is I would just advise him because it won't be as fit as the way it used to be when he was playing. It won't be as
yeah.
fast as up sense the way it used to be. So me and my advice for Pogba, if you can see this video, let him just use his little resources to go and invest and do something better. There's a lot of investment you can do, and you are still very young at 30 something years. Adding 20, 40 years to your age, you are still alive. So football is just like a short period of time, which gives you the opportunity to have the financial stability of yourself. So it's going to be very wise for him to invest his little capital, his little finance in a different settings. Because coming back to football, I don't think it's going to be good for him. So I advise him
Okay,
to just stay off pitch, use his money for something, and if he can come back and play, he will know that that's going to be another advantage for him. But if he cannot, his investment will be using interest for him. So that's just my own advice, though.
okay, fantastic, fantastic. Thank you very much. Gozie, over to you. What's your advice for Paul Pogba at this point?
Yeah, firstly, my advice for other people, other professional footballers and all that is whenever you have to take drugs, whether it's any kind of drugs that will, if you are to take a drug test, it will show that it has some little performance enhancing, any trace of performance, it being performance enhancing. You should first meet the club doctor because every club has their club doctor. Meet the club
Yeah,
doctor. Doctor would approve of it and say, okay, you have the go ahead, just so that you don't put yourself in the position of being tested for doping, and then it turns out you're positive just because you took a drug for something else, but it turns out that it has little bits that could be performance enhancing for you. So
yeah,
I'll say that. But in terms of Paul Pogba, we all know he's one. It wasn't, well, not that we know, but looking at how everything spanned out, it seems like it was something that he did intentionally. That's what it seems like. But in terms of advice, so that's what I'll give for other footballers. But in terms of Paul Pogba, what I'll say is take a bit of time away from football if he still has, or if he has always had passion for football outside of playing. Maybe he could do his licensing, his coaching licensing. But what I'll say to that is, how do you even try and help? Because you'll probably start from youth level. How do you even try and inspire the youth
yeah.
to play football when you took drugs for it, kind of thing? That's the only drawback to
Challenge.
that. But I'll just say, yeah, I'll just say you should take a bit of time away from football. There's probably other things he has of interest to him. He should do what makes him happy at this point in time. But obviously, he should know that what he did wasn't right. By the time all the investigations are being done in terms of if it was intentional or not intentional, or however that comes back as, I'll say he probably still has a chance to play a bit of football, but I think he already had injury issues even before this whole doping thing.
Yeah.
He had a lot of injury issues since he was in Man U. He had a lot of injury issues, so it's not something that even if he comes back, he's older, his body is probably getting worn out in terms of all the recurring injuries he's having. So he might as well just stay away from it in terms of playing and go into other parts of it if he's still interested in it after his playing career. So yeah.
Okay. Fantastic. So, Mr. Paul Pogba, wherever you are at this point in time, if you happen to come across this video by any chance, whether directly or indirectly, please hear the sincere counsel that is being, tabled before you from this house. It may not be the best for you to return back to football at this level, because by the time you're finishing your 4 years ban, you'd have exhausted all your active years as far as football is concerned. And I was even told that his salary has been reduced to 2,000 euros per week. So that's more like someone under a minimum wage, at the minute. And this ban of a thing is quite interesting. I remember the time this gypsy guy, what's his name now? The boxer.
Oh no, the UFC fighter.
Tyson Fury.
Yeah,
There was a time he was picked up for drugs as well. What he said in defense was that it was a pig he ate, pork meat. He said it was the pig that ate the drug. It wasn't him, and he just became a victim of eating the pig's meat, just finding a way to get out of it. So these things just come and go. I remember Diego Maradona had also been picked up as well in his own time when he was still playing at a point for some drugs as well. Quite a number of them, but we wish you all the best, Mr. Paul Pogba, with respect to what you do from this point going forward. But let's at this point go back to Nigeria for a minute. I know most of our viewers would be from this prestigious country or have some form of relationship or acquaintance with the country Nigeria. So let's touch that country just for a minute. And the news coming from Nigeria says that the Super Eagles coach, Mr. Jose Peseiro, has left his position as the coach of the Super Eagles. As his contract has ended and he refused to extend it. The news coming from Nigeria says that the Nigerian Footballing Federation tried to extend his contract, but he declined. And I understand, I stand to be corrected, but I understand he is on his way to Algeria to become their national team's football coach. So the question I want to ask us guys tonight is, and also for the rest of our viewers and watchers all over the world, is did Nigeria make the right decision by letting this man go, or could we have pushed a little further to try to keep him? Being the person that led us all the way to the Nation Cup's final, it felt as if he had started something new that could have been built on from this point going forward. But now he's gone and not to come back again. Did we make the right decision at that point or not? And then the other question I would like us to answer as well is, who then do we bring in at this point to take us forward? Because the only direction we want to go as a country, as a footballing nation, is forward. We don't want anyone that comes to, that will come to take us backward or, take us around in circles. We want to move, forward. I think even as a church, this is our season of marching forward. So I think that's the only direction we want to be going at this point. But, over to you, gentlemen. What do you think? Let's start with Gozie and then we come to Juniho.
Yeah, well, I do feel we should have tried a bit harder to try and keep him, because he knew he was getting to know the team, the players' attributes, and he's someone who gave chances to a lot of European-based Nigerian players who were doing well in their various leagues and all. So I feel we should have kept him. I think he's had depth in that sense of knowing what players abroad to bring in that are performing well in other leagues. But what I'll say, I'm not fully aware of the plethora of coaches in African football and African league football, and knowing which one of them would fit the role of a Nigerian manager or Nigerian coach. But what I'll say is in terms of finding this new person, there are certain criteria that the person has to fill. Like the person should have broad knowledge of various leagues and Nigerian players in various leagues, home and abroad, that are capable of joining the team. He should have persuasive power to be able to convert players from who haven't gotten the chance to represent, say, England. Maybe they're in England, they haven't still gotten the chance to represent England. They should be able to bring those people in. They should be able to bring those people in. For example, say as Nketiah for Ghana, he hasn't really gotten much appearances for England. I think he got one friendly appearance or something, but I don't know if that really counts. But what I'm saying is the person should be able to have persuasive power to be able to bring those people in. And also the person should be tactically aware of who his players are, how they fit into his plans, and various kinds of formations in various how to change formations mid-match. So when the match is going on, you're in a tight position, you need to close the game, knowing what kind of formation to play in that situation. If you want to go all-out attack, knowing what kind of formation to play. If you want to settle possession, knowing the kind of players you need and the kind of formation you need to play. I just think the person has to be adept in that way. I saw that we were looking at Eguavon to take that position. I'm not overly sure of him. I don't know much about him. Funny enough, I've taken a picture with him in the past, but I don't know much about his coaching abilities. I'm not sure, but I'll say we should be able to look into the CAF Champions League that they do and try and find coaches within there that are performing very well in those competitions to try and bring them in as a coach for Nigeria as well. If you're trying to look within Africa, but also you can look within Europe as well. I'm sure for Nigeria to have reached the final of the CAF, they should be able to. They should now have enough pedigree to at least draw managers from abroad, even though it's not big name managers, but managers that have tactical awareness of the European game. Football, it has its highest level in Europe at the moment. So that's what we should be looking at if we're being honest. Yeah.
Okay, fantastic. Thank you, Gozie. Juniho, what do you think about Peseiro?
My own opinion is going to be a bit different from Gozie's own. Because firstly, when a manager mind is done with the team, trying to persuade him is just like trying to force him. He left the team, not Nigerian, not NFF leaving him. The contract was extended to 2026. But after the Nations Cup, he decided to leave Nigerian Football Federation.
Yeah.
They tried to persuade him even with increment of salary.
Yeah.
But he decided that good and fine, he has done well in the African Nations Cup. We understand his side, and we gave him the kudos. We gave him the accolades for doing what he has done. But this is it. When the manager wants to leave the team, you don't persuade them. It's just like a player leaving a team and you're trying to persuade them. Even if physically is still there, the mind is not there anymore.
Yeah. I agree.
So letting him go is going to be a good option. Though it might not be favorable for Nigeria or Nigerians as a whole. You get, but letting him go is going to be more favorable for Nigeria at the end of everything. Because if we force him and this man made mistake, he might capitalize on the mistake trying like he might capitalize on the fact that we forcefully or we persuaded him to stay back. Even out of his own will. You get, letting him go is going to be fine. Then secondly, I am not confused or convinced with his pattern of football. To be very candid, I watched the whole Nations Cup from the beginning to the end, even the ones I missed. I went back to watch the highlights. I'm not really confused with this pattern of football, with the style of playing. Because this time you want, tell you two things I understand about it. If you watch Nigerian match from the first match of the group to the final match, Nigeria never played any tactical football. We are playing based on the fact that the players are motivational. The players are intended to win. Look at the likes of Iwobi. And I will tell you this thing tonight. Anybody that watches it, let them come and see what I'm saying is a lie. This coach makes people criticize Iwobi because of the way he used Iwobi. And he was asking him to play
defensive midfield.
After match, check out the whole scenario. Iwobi tweeted on his, he went on his Instagram to say, "I played based on instruction and the tactics of the team." But Nigeria doesn't see that. All what we need at Nigeria is, man, play for us, go and win, score. This is what we want. But this man played the football that he has to defensive midfielder. Don't forget that Iwobi was never a defensive midfielder. He is an attacking midfielder.
Yeah, even in Fulham.
He played Iwobi in a defensive role. Alongside with Oyedikashi. He played in the defense role. And he was even giving Iwobi instruction to be trying to hold the possession of the ball. When you not playing now, Iwobi is not a kind of player that has the strength to hold ball and doing what he can do. Iwobi was trying to play on instruction. Based on that, the guy doesn't see the technicality of the pattern from the coach. But we are seeing Iwobi as a player who is not performing his role. So maybe you get what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
Because of that, people took on Iwobi to the extent that they were bullying him cyberly.
Yeah.
This guy went to social media platform, deleted all his memories. Because if I want to post anything on my social media, I posted them based on my memories. I don't want to forget this. I want to forget these things. They make sure this guy deleted all his memories, all his good times, criticizing him.
Yeah.
This guy came back to his club. Look at what he's doing when he came back to his club, when he was playing his normal role.
Yeah. He does well in Fulham, yeah.
You get so letting the coach, even if the coach will stay, he can change his pattern. You want to play 5 defenders, 2 at the wing side. There are some kind of players who play at the wing side. Good, they are playing 3 defenders, 3 standable defenders. Good, they are doing that. But look for a defensive person to stay and play against. You want to play Iwobi because he's creative. But you are not using him in the right position. So at the end of the day, people started criticizing the guy. So letting him go is going to be good for Nigeria and it's going to be good for him. Because one, his mind is not in Nigeria again. It's not in the team again. Then secondly, we need like Gozier said, we need a tactical coach. If you are looking within Africa, going into those leagues, we have a lot of local African leagues that are doing pretty well. South Africa, Egypt, Asia, Algeria. It's not compulsory to stay in Nigeria. Go into those leagues. Understand those people that know the technicality of African football. Look at people that knows what it takes for you to be an African coach. Teach for them, bring them in, let them do something. And also bring in Igabon in the team. Igabon has managed the team not once, I think 2 or 3 times. What has been his result? So I don't see the reason why you want to bring Igabon in. In fact, to me, I've never seen any home base or local coach that have achieved. I haven't, because they will be doctored. What I mean by doctored is the NFF committee will be the ones to be dictating for them, but they find it out to dictate for the national coaches.
Yeah.
So bringing in local coaches, you still want to dictate for them as well, the way you used to do, like the doctrine, like the normal way you used to do. So it's better you let all those local coaches stay behind. You can add them to the technical crew. You can add them to anything, but not making them the manager of the team.
Okay.
So my own advice is just to let the coach leave. Then bringing a Gabon is not actually an advisable for me. You can go for another team, bring in another good coach from maybe might not even be a foreign coach. It might be an African coach. Yeah, you get. That's just my own for NFF. Let the man go. According to him, he said he's going to Algeria. Let him go to wherever he wants to go to. Bless him for what he has done for Nigeria. And we appreciate what he has done so far. but let's bring a new blood, a new person, a new
Okay.
set of technical team, and let's just see what will happen. And don't forget that Nigeria needs to go to the next World Cup. That is very, very important. Very,
Mm.
very, very important. Because we missed the last World Cup against Ghana. We missed it. And Ghana went to the World Cup. They did nothing. I am sure
Yeah.
that if Nigeria must go to that World Cup as at then,
I don't bet.
75% of Nigerian players were on their feet.
Yes.
So we lose to
Yeah.
the last, we lose go to the last World Cup. So this time around, we have the likes of the both victors, Victor Boniface, Victor Osimhen, at the peak of their career. What is it called? The Nottingham Forest striker, Awoniyi, at his peak, despite the fact that he's on injury. You have the likes of Calvin Bassey, the likes of
Boniface.
all of them, they are their peak. So
Yeah.
it's good
Yeah,
for those
Boniface.
guys
Yeah.
to showcase themselves at the world level.
Mm.
A player who does not play a World Cup is not recognized.
Okay.
That's one of the problems Rangis went through. Rangis never as good and as great as he was. He never played World Cup.
Mm.
So my own advice is let the man go. Get a coach that understands the pattern of African football and the technicality of Nigerian players. Then Nigeria should be good to go.
Okay. Fantastic. Fantastic, fantastic, fantastic. So we wish Joseph Peseiro all the best as he continues with his managerial career. And we look forward to seeing the person who will be brought in to steady the ship and take us to the next level as far as being the Super Eagles coach is concerned. I know there are a couple of names. I also understand that Eguavon was just brought in as an interim coach. He was not brought in to become the successor for Joseph Peseiro, just to hold the fort till we find someone who would take that position. I understand that names like Sunday Olise is being mentioned, and I understand that even though I think this one is a little bit too much, but somebody did mention Jose Mourinho. But let's see how it goes at the end of the day. Let's see who finally becomes this coach.
If he gets us, he will do well, though. If he gets
Sorry?
us, he will do well, but it's just not feasible.
It's quite funny when we are talking about national football and you are talking about Jose Mourinho. See, national football and Jose Mourinho, they are different pattern of playing. You get Jose Mourinho can invite the player today and send him away again. That's the kind of man he is. So even mentioning Jose Mourinho is quite weird to me. Like you get, and someone like Sunday Olise, if you look at the interview of most of the players Olise played with in the national team, no player likes him because they all think he's a dictatorship. Like he's the pace, his rule, he's this thing, he's that thing. You get, but we need that discipline to fight. We
Okay.
need the discipline.
Okay, fantastic, fantastic. Okay, so we move now away from Nigeria again, back to Europe, and we go over to Champions League. This week, a couple of matches held. Teams like Real Madrid had proceeded to the next phase after winning in their last match. I think it was against Leipzig. It was quite a tight match because I understand that
Leipzig were that team,
Yes, the pundits were saying that the coach of Real Madrid, what's his name now? What's that? This man's name? Ancelotti. That he was scared of Leipzig team, and he didn't play an offensive style of football. But thank God for some of this, footballing talent he has, who were able to pull him through in that match. I understand that Jude Bellingham also got a red card towards the end of that match. But Real Madrid had pulled through. Manchester City, of course, expected, had also pulled through. But next week, Tuesday, we have an interesting match coming up between Arsenal and FC Porto. And currently, Arsenal is trailing by 1 goal to nil. So on the aggregate level, my question now is predictions. What's going to be the result of this second leg between Arsenal and FC Porto? Let's start with Gozie, your team.
Yeah, for me in this game, what I want to see from Arsenal is what we've been doing to teams when we want it. When we want it, the thing with Arsenal is that when they come out, especially this season, when it's a big game and they really need the win, that's when we usually step up for it. And that's what I want to see in this game. In this particular game, I feel we should start the formation which we've been playing in our big games. That's Havertz up front. Like, definitely, Havertz now over the season.
I was about. I
Remember
wanted
the
to laugh
beginning of
before. I
this.
wanted to laugh before I say
Remember
what
the
I.
beginning of the.
Don't worry, don't
No,
worry.
wait,
Keep
wait.
talking.
Remember,
I have some things to tell you
I
about
said,
Harvard.
remember the beginning. Remember the beginning of the season. I was like, this guy cannot just improve. There's no way he can just improve. Looking at him, I just felt it's
You
not.
were
How can
criticizing
this
him.
kind of
Because
person improve?
I can remember one of the. I can
And
remember one of the.
one thing I've noticed from him is that he's not just a midfielder. Like, he doesn't do midfielders things. He's just silky on the ball. So people relate that to him being a midfielder. Him playing as striker is where he's really, really dangerous. And playing in the right system, he has to be free to move around. He has to be able to drop, move around, flow to the left, right. That's the kind of guy he is. And one thing he has always been good at, that I've never doubted him at, is his pressing. His pressing is something else. It's almost as good as Gabriel Jesus' pressing. Like, in terms of his pressing only. But I've never rated him for, like, his passing, all those things that you relate with a midfielder. But up front, he does it well. And for this game, I'll predict a 2-0 or a 3-1. Either a 2-0 or a 3-1. But I'll stick with 2-0.
Who to win?
Arsenal, obviously.
Okay. 2-0. Fantastic. Okay. Juniho, prediction.
Before I go on my prediction, I have to just come back and say one or two things about what you have said earlier. Like, seriously, beginning of the season, I can see, because if I can remember our first and second edition, and I remember one of the editions we had on this program when the host was asking the worst signing of the season. If you can remember,
Yes.
that mention of Harvard. That's one of the worst signing of the season. It's a waste of money. He doesn't know why Michael Arteta has to go and sign him. All those things.
Yeah.
But this is one of the things I told him. Then I said, you give this guy a time. Though he wasn't performing well at Chelsea, but Chelsea didn't sell him because he was not performing. But Chelsea just needed the rebranding of the team. So that's why we sold almost all the players, all the senior players. You get almost all the players. That was one of the reasons why we sold them. And when they brought him to Arsenal, he wasn't playing the normal minutes he was meant to play. But thank God now I see that you are praising it, because now one of the things is when you are now getting the stability in the team, when you are now getting stable, you are getting the support from your teammates.
Teammates.
The confidence, the agileness, the strength, the mentality, the orientation to score, and the understanding of the team mentality will start coming. But I think that's what is happening to Havertz now. And I see Havertz going well. He's going to do well in Arsenal. I saw that. And back to the prediction, I think I'm going to say, to be frank, I don't see Porto coming close to Arsenal. Serious. I didn't see Porto coming to Arsenal. I'm not an Arsenal fan. I was never an Arsenal fan. And I don't think I'm going to be an Arsenal fan. But the fact is, I don't see Porto coming to Arsenal. So my prediction is just going to be like 2-0, 2-0, or 3-0, if I would say.
So let me ask us one question on this match. What do you think will happen if Porto plays a defensive game? Because you see, they are ahead already. All they need is to keep tighten the ship and end the game goalless, and they win. What do you think is going to happen if Porto plays a defensive game?
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Gozi and then Junio.
Yeah. Okay. Gozi, go
first. Do you know one thing? Yeah, I actually pray
they play
a defensive game. Yeah. I actually pray that they play a defensive game. I don't even want them to come out, because I actually rate their attacking players. Their attacking players are good. I rate their attacking players. So if it's defensive game they do want to play, sit back. I'm very happy with that. I know that now we have different ways of opening up teams. We've played West Ham that play negative football, that sit back and all that stuff. 6-0. We've played all these teams at the bottom, Sheffield. Burnley play good football, they play nice football. That's why we opened them on 5-0. But the Sheffield that play defensive as well, even though they are not that good defensively, they still ended up giving them, is it 6-0? I can't even count how many, whether 5, 6, or 4 we've been giving teams all this while. But looking at everything realistically is in our favor. Coming back home, and that game, we need it. Like, we need to be in the quarterfinal. There's no way that we don't see ourselves being in that quarterfinal. And one thing is Arsenal, when we need wins like this, it doesn't matter what kind of formation you're trying to play. We are just coming to win. It doesn't, the way we are going to play, it doesn't matter how you play. We are coming to impose our game on you. However you want to receive it, you
take it.
But I see us winning still. Yeah.
Okay, Juniho.
Yeah, like what William said, it's going to be a very great disaster for FC Porto to play defensive game. Seriously, playing a defensive game against a team like Arsenal, who has nothing to lose than to win.
Yeah.
And you know, defensively as a good team, as a good manager, the best way you can defend is by attacking. So when you're attacking, your opponent is retrieving.
Yeah.
You know, they're retrieving back. So they won't have the strength to attack you. And this is it. Porto has a very good attacking force. It's very good attacking force. If you watch the first leg, you will see. The match in Adimo ended like 3-0 or 4-0 in the first leg against Arsenal. You get, because they missed a lot of time. They missed. But still, if they decided to go and play a defensive game, it's going to be a disaster for them. I don't know, maybe their manager can before the match.
Hopefully
playing
not.
a defensive game against Arsenal is going to be a disaster, like a great one. Because this is one thing, like I said earlier, Arsenal doesn't have anything to lose than to win. They are going to play their whole everything, give it everything that will take them to win the match. In fact, don't be surprised how can you defenders and go with 2 force to win. This man must at least end up in 2-0. Even when him to play, and secondly, it's going to be a no mathematics for Arsenal. So Arsenal doesn't have the fan base mentality like Liverpool. Like Man City, the crazy neighbors. Am you?
Okay. So we're going all the way for Arsenal in this match. Okay, just before we tie it up this evening, finally, let's return back to England and to the Premier League, and let's consider one match which will be happening. I know there's a Super Sunday match, but we haven't got the time to discuss that. Let's quickly touch on Chelsea, Newcastle. I watched the press conference which Pochettino held earlier today, and from what he said, he did confirm that players like Ben Chilwell and Levi Colwill will not be featuring in that match. And he also said that a player like Gallagher is still under consideration, whether he will be able to make it or not, because in their last training, he didn't train for one reason or the other. So what's our prediction? Just the prediction, please. What's the prediction? Chelsea, Newcastle, Juniho first, and then we come to Goze. Prediction.
It's going to be like, it's going to end up in a draw. Either goalless draw, one draw. Because Chelsea has never lost to any big. Chelsea has lost to a big team, but not like. I think it's only maybe I can't remember the team Chelsea lost to. Maybe Man U or so.
Liverpool.
But,
was it Liverpool?
No. We never lost to Liverpool.
No.
I think Man U. I think Man U. The second leg we played of a recent. I think we had like 2-2. No, it's a final. Yeah,
Carabao. Yeah, Carabao.
Chelsea has never lost to any big team this season. Man City, Arsenal, Liverpool, both this season. So even the Newcastle self. I think we won Newcastle. I think I'm not really sure. I can't remember the scores. So I'm going to go to at least. So Chelsea has been in a good form because of the injuries, EU and whatever. But I still go for the draw like they used to do with the big teams. So my prediction is going to be that goalless draw, 1-1 draw.
Okay. Goalless draw or 1-1 draw. Okay. Gozie, prediction. Chelsea, Newcastle.
Yeah, for this game, I go for a 2-2. A draw as
2-2.
well. I see a 2-2 draw. Is in Chelsea's home. Chelsea, I think Chelsea haven't been that bad attacking, but defensively, they haven't really been it. So I'll just say a 2-2. A 2-2 draw for that game.
Chelsea is bad in attacking. They are good in attacking, but they are bad in finishing. Very bad in finishing.
Yeah. You guys know how to create a lot of chances, but you don't know
Yeah,
what
but
to do with
you
the
watch,
chances.
there
Yeah.
was one of the interviews that they
Clinical.
had. David Jackson of the Houston, Nicola Jackson. This guy said he had 11 goals and he had 29 clear chances. He, like, according to analysis, is the first and the only Chelsea striker, full striker, that has gotten that kind of chances so far. Like 29 clear chances in a season, and you only have 11.
Mm.
Very bad of him. And I can even remember one of his matches, he had 3 goals. So take out 3 goals from 11. That guy is worse. God forbid him.
Chelsea, man. Chelsea
Okay.
is just something else. I think Chelsea
Anyway,
always find a way to. Chelsea
you are
always
stressing
find a way to stay tense. What position are you guys in now?
You're on 11 now, don't worry, you're 11, 11.
11.
You're coming up. You're coming up. So don't discriminate. But there's no
Okay.
difference between myself and us anyway, because we didn't
Man.
win anything. I don't want anything to.
Oh,
Okay.
God.
Okay. Fantastic. Fantastic. So, I mean, ladies and gentlemen who are watching us all over the world, this is right about where we want to draw the curtains this evening. But just before we do, we'd like to remind you that this show is being brought to you by RCCG Jubilee Christian Center Coventry, the House of Prayer. And in case you are watching us and you'd like to join us for any of our services, we do have our Sunday services 11 a.m. every Sunday, and our address is 32 to 42 East Street, and the postcode is TV15LS, and that's Charlie Victor 1 5 Lima Sierra. Find out time, within the week to join us for any of our Sunday services, and I'm sure you'll be blessed if you do so. And in case you're watching us this evening as well and you would like to give your life to Christ, you haven't done that before, and you would like to use this opportunity to do so, I want to crave your indulgence, to bow down your heads and just pray with us very quickly. Just repeat after me. Say, my Father, I want to accept you into my life. Come into my life. Be my Lord and my personal Savior. I receive you into my life right now. Thank you, Lord. And I say no to the enemy. I say no to Satan. I say yes to Jesus. Thank you, Lord. In Jesus' mighty name, we pray. Amen.
Amen.
Amen. Amen and amen. Thank you for watching, everybody all over the world. And this is where Gozie, Juninho, and myself, and as well our IT guys who are helping us to pull the shots and make these things happen. This is where we are saying, yes, well done, IT guys. Well done. God bless you. This is where we
Yeah,
are saying good evening. And let's see what happens with Chelsea, Newcastle, Arsenal, FC Porto, and the rest of the matches, Barcelona, Napoli. Let's see what happens with them by next week. We'll return back again in the month of April to have another show. And at that point in time, we'll see where we are on the table, both in the Premier League and also in the Champions League. Till then, stay blessed.
Thank you.
Stay blessed. We sign out.
Good night.
All right.